for these mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 188 of Fired Up Sports. Check us out at firedupsports.com. I'm Mike Gilletto. Joining me as always, Dom Console. What's going on, brother?
Yo. All right, I got to ask.
Okay.
What is going on? The background is different.
The background
Is it like
different.
opposite?
I don't know. Does it look weird?
Yeah.
Does it look good weird or bad weird?
It does. No, it doesn't look bad. I'm just confused.
I think before it was mirrored and now it's not. I flicked one setting on and now it's kind of backwards.
Okay.
Do you like it? Yes or no? Does it look
Yeah,
weird?
it's
or?
fine. No.
All right, okay.
I just wasn't expecting it. That's all. I was a little confused.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. That's totally fair.
Like, when you look at something for 187
episodes.
Yeah, you're just used to something else.
You want me to switch it back? I can switch it back for you.
No. I don't
Okay.
care.
I don't want to mess with your vibe.
No, I'm good.
So one of the big things I want to talk about this week, and we can get into it. It's been a while since we've talked Sixers. Okay. I think you know where I'm headed with this.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think I do.
Okay. Well, it was announced this week by Daryl Morey himself that him and Nick Nurse will both be back
Oh, yeah.
next season. What are we doing here? Like Nick Nurse, I could kind of make an argument. Like I could be convinced into letting him return. What has Daryl Morey done in his entire career that gives him this much job security? I don't understand it.
I mean, the Nick Nurse thing, I just don't think this is on Nick Nurse. I think last
I
season,
agree.
Even last season, I think, I think the biggest problem with the Sixers on the court, and that includes coaching, is Joel Embiid.
Yep.
And I just think that they weren't really built great last year. So I don't put last year losing to the Knicks in the first round on Nick Nurse. Some questionable things, but I think any coach you watch, that doesn't win a championship that year, you could, come up with things that make you scratch your head, right?
Sure, and losing Jared McCann, I'm sure didn't help.
Well, I'm talking about last season.
Oh yeah, sure.
In the playoffs.
Yep.
And then this year losing Jared McCain pretty early, who looked like the early rookie of the year favorite. Yep. And then Paul George not working out, Joel Embiid not being 100% healthy, Maxey having his injury woes this year. It just kind of didn't work out. I actually have a funny stat for you. Well, a funny fact for you. I'll tell you after this, but it's about the NBA, kind of about the Sixers a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, the Daryl Morey thing, I don't understand it at all. I just think this is a product, and this is a thing that kind of proves my point and other people's points, where this owner does not give a shit about winning.
No.
All he does care about is putting money in his pocket, and that means, oh my God, that means
big catch.
So yeah, just imagine if it wasn't windy.
Yeah, right.
That would have carried out. It just proves that this owner only cares about making the playoffs, winning a round or two, getting money in his pocket, and doesn't really care about winning a championship.
Well, he's got his.
I think he's kind of proved that in multiple sports. That
I was gonna say he's got his hands all over the place. He owns I think it's the Devils, the Commanders.
Yes.
He owns a soccer team, I think, in Europe. Like, he's got his hands in many different avenues there. So yeah. I mean, it just. I just go back to the fact that, like, even his days in Houston, where he had a perennial first, second round exit. Like never really made deep runs, never won anything.
Yeah.
And you had, I would argue, this past season of the Sixers is worse than like process days, because like at least process days, you knew kind of what to expect. Like you knew they were stripping things down, they were starting fresh, lose to get good picks, and eventually get good. Daryl Morey's trying to win, and it was still a dog shit season. Like that's worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are, there's some validity to that. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, Mike did suffer.
I sold. Yep, sure did. Listen, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I mean?
We could get political on the show.
I mean, fuck it, Dom. Why not?
Yeah. So, I mean, we have to call out the other comment that she left.
He leaves the Devils alone. Okay.
But that, like, he also leaves the Sixers alone, and that's the problem, in a way.
Yeah, well, I don't know that it's the problem.
It's not the problem
because you don't want him. I don't think you want him touching the Sixers.
No, I don't want him anywhere near sports.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure that guy has ever picked up a ball in his life.
Right, but the owners have to though.
No, but like you have to. Like Jeffrey Lurie understands that. Like,
okay, yeah, I understand. Like Jeffrey Lurie is a Hall of Fame, one of the best owners in the history of sports. Like,
John Middleton understands. Like,
you could argue this. You could argue the start of the Philly season. You could argue is because of John Middleton.
That's what. That
the fact that they're struggling. Like
it's April.
What do you mean? Like, yes, April. Yes, it's April.
Winning games. It's not. It's
like.
But this is a different conversation for later.
Okay,
say this.
Okay, go ahead.
But I don't know. I mean, we could get into the Devils, but we won't. It's just the Sixers. And I'm not confident going forward either.
I'm getting yelled at. We're not blaming Middleton for the fuckery that is happening. Listen, we'll get to that later. I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming somebody that, is one step below that. I think Dave Dombrowski is largely responsible for the lineup. But that's a different conversation for a different time. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, but I'm just like I have zero confidence in moving forward with this. I mean, listen, they drafted the guy that I wanted them to draft last year, at 13 or 15, whatever he was picked at, and it seemed like it was working out. I don't know if I have confidence in, having Daryl Morey pick again.
Sure, 100%. Because what's he show other than the McCain pick? Like what's he shown for you? Whether it's trades, free agency, like he just doesn't know how to build a winner. Like I just don't get it.
I wonder if that's like a byproduct of like his star having a say as well.
Who, Joel?
Yeah, and I also don't think that there was much more they could do last season. Like, what else were they going to do other than sign Paul George? Like, there really wasn't much else for them to do. But it's just been a train wreck, and the league stinks.
The league is bad.
We've talked about that a million times. So here's the fun fact that I have for you that I heard today.
Okay.
I don't know how many players are in the NBA, but there have been, I think it's either 83 or 84 players. Okay, so in order to get an award in the NBA, like the MVP, blah, 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 you have to play a minimum of 65 games.
The Joel Embiid rule, we'll call it.
Correct. And the Kawhi Leonard rule. It's Kawhi Leonard.
Sure, okay, fair.
There were, I think it was either 83 or 84 players that have played over 65 games in the NBA this year.
80, okay. And there's probably, what, 400 to 500 players in the NBA?
Well, that counts. It does count. So it does count. Oh, and that's the thing. It counts guys that get suited up that don't play, that are the last guy on the bench, that play every 8th game, 9th game, 10th game.
Well, rosters are what, 10 to 12 guys?
14 usually.
14?
It's usually 12 to 14.
Yeah.
So on average, that's around 3 guys per team.
That's
that have-
played 65 games or more. You said
Yeah, in the entire league.
that's. I mean, it's bad. That's
It's really
straight
bad.
up
It's
It's
horrible.
bad. Yeah.
It's horrible. I'll give you a guess on how many the Sixers had this year that played over 65. Both guys played over 70. I think one of them was 73.
I was gonna say 2. So it was 2.
It's 2.
Okay. Maxey missed some time, right?
Yeah, Max has been out most of the year.
Yeah, that's what I said. I probably won't even get it. Who are the 2?
I don't think you're gonna get the one. The one guy that played 77, you might be able to get.
Who
You may. I'm not sure if you will, but you might.
who was it?
Yabusele, the guy from
Okay.
Paris, the guy from the
Yeah.
Olympics,
I probably wouldn't have said, but yeah, that makes sense.
and the other guy was Ricky Council.
You made that name up.
Fair enough. He's actually like one of those guys last year that like played, a little bit, and we're like, you want to see more of him? He looks like a nice role player. Like he's just a role player. He looks like a nice role player.
Yeah, that's the problem is after Embiid and Maxey and I mean I know they had a ton of injuries. After those guys, that's all they have is like some okay role players.
Yeah, for the most part, pretty
Yeah.
much. So yeah, I just think that's like a byproduct of like a terrible league.
Yeah, no, it's a bad league. It's a bad league. I mean, I'm obviously a hockey fan, so I'm not going to sit here and compare hockey to baseball or basketball, but it's a night and day difference. So
Yeah, I mean,
because those guys just go to war every game. Like they broken limbs, but they're ready to play. They play back to backs.
yeah, but like that league is struggling too. Like it's
I don't know that it is. How's it struggling?
100%. It's not the same league it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
I disagree.
Look at the numbers.
Numbers in terms of what? Ratings?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I have to look at the rating. I mean, they got massive TV
Granted,
deals in the last 2 years.
Granted, every league is probably the NBA is probably up a little bit, but it's been down from what it's been the last few years. For the most part, the MLB is probably down too, and I guess the NHL is down too. Like if you ask the common person I was talking about this with somebody at work who told me he was 16 when Ovechkin. This was right around the time Ovechkin broke the record. He was 16 when Ovechkin was drafted. He remembered, he said when I was 16, 17, 18, he said in college, like we would watch hockey every night. And he said, I haven't watched hockey in 5 years.
Okay.
So like, I just think the common person, it's like me, like I hardly watch, but I also hardly watch the NBA this year. So like, I just think that all of the sports besides the NFL are kind of,
and you could even argue the
down
NFL has kind of gone down.
of course, but I'd imagine if you look at the ratings, they probably just go up every year. Where I think the NBA probably goes down, and the NHL probably either goes down or plateaus or whatever. I also think the NHL kind of needs like big time needs like an LA versus New York. Obviously, both being good teams.
Sure.
I think they really need that. Like Florida playing Edmonton last year was like, and I get it, it's McDavid. But I just don't think it's like it has the same effect as like
100%.
Toronto versus Chicago or
or LA, New York, like you said. No, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
That's why the NBA is probably going to go up in the playoffs, is because they're going to do everything they can to have LeBron and the Lakers play Boston and Boston.
But aren't people like it's like 20 some years of LeBron? Like, do we need this anymore? Like, are people tired of
trying
it?
To save the league.
Save the league. He's the one that's destroyed it.
You're preaching to the choir, my friend. I'm just giving you the facts.
I
Don't shoot the messenger.
I would argue, we talked about this a few weeks ago, I would argue he's solely responsible for the downfall.
Not solely,
of the NBA.
but like a big a chunk.
It's 80% of it.
No, I think the commissioner had some things. I think other players have also been a part of the problem. Kawhi Leonard was a star until he couldn't stay healthy. He was a star until he decided to sit out games, and Giannis won his championship and was done.
Yeah,
Kawhi won his championships and was done.
But that's the problem. I think the problem with like the NBA and the culture of the NBA players is they care more, and it's their prerogative. They can, but they care more about their brand, their money.
It's at least 3/4 of the league.
Right? Yeah, they care more about that than
it's the Ben Simmons
team,
effect.
than the winning,
It's
than
about
the
Hollywood
and the legacy. They care more about the other stuff.
It's
Yeah.
about being on the front of the newspaper. And that's the problem with Joel Embiid, too. It's, again, I think he wants to win, and I think he's a great player, and I think raw talent is there. I just think he cares more about winning on his terms by being one of the greats. I want to be compared to Wilt and Magic and, Jordan and all these guys, and LeBron. Like, I want to
Sure.
be compared to these guys, but I want to do it on my terms, and it doesn't work like that. And that's why I think Jokic succeeds
just-
so much.
It's just what I miss of like I mean, obviously the time I remember is like 90s, early 2000s, where like a guy like Kobe, where people give him his flowers, obviously, but I don't think people put him to the same pedestal as a LeBron, as a Michael, and like I think he should be right up there, if not even over LeBron, because of his mentality. Like he did anything to win. That's all he cared about, winning. He didn't care about all the other stuff. Like, I mean, obviously there's the famous, you're up 2-0. Why are you happy? Oh, what's there to be happy about? Job's not finished. Like
Yeah.
that sort of mentality is just why I respected the hell out of him. But you just don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Oh, I dropped, my
what are you doing over there?
dropped my remote. Sorry.
All that to say, they should have moved on from Daryl Morey.
Yes.
Keep Nick Nurse. I'm fine with that. I don't think Nick Nurse is kind of given the right roster yet. And you talk about the injuries all you want. Like I don't know that it's an excuse. I think it's a reason why Nick Nurse kind of failed this year. So give him another year. I get it. But Daryl Morey has never built a winner in this league, and I just don't know how he has this much job security. So that's kind of where I lean on that.
I agree.
Do you think he has a short leash though? Like, you think if things in the middle of next season don't turn around and they're still kind of middling and they're still bad, then is he gone?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't expect Tortorella to get fired with 10 games left or whatever it was, but like at the same time, I don't know, because again, like, what were they supposed to do other than sign Paul George? Like, there really was not. You can't trade anybody. You can't.
Yeah, but that's his job to figure that out. Like,
Right,
it's a results business, and he's not getting the results.
No, I understand. It's just I just don't think there was much for him to do, and I think that they understand that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not giving it as an excuse. I'm just saying, I just think that A, the owner is not a very good one, and B, what else was he supposed to do? And it just didn't work out. 36-year-old or 34-year-old Paul George is not, is not the answer.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe next year he is. I don't know, but
How much turnover do you think there's going to be from now till the start of next season?
roster turnover?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's really all going to depend on where they draft.
Sure. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a good draft this year. That like top 3 or 5 guys are like supposed to be better than years. Better than past years. So I don't know. I think it's all going to just depend on like where they if they fall if they get to a top, so it's a top 5 protected, I think. So if they don't,
I think it's top 6 protected technically.
whatever it is. So if they don't keep their pick, obviously they can't really do much. I think if they get the 5th or the 6th pick, whatever it is, and they just don't like the guy, maybe they trade it. But like, it's the NBA. It's not like the NFL where the 6th pick is as valuable, as it is as it would be for the NFL.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think Jared McCain is here next year. I think Max is here. I think Paul George, and I think Embiid. I think they want to try to keep Yabusele. Maybe he's not like a $2 million player like he was this year. Maybe he makes like $7 million a year. I think that Ricky Council will be here next year. I'm trying to think who else. I really watched like 10 minutes of NBA this year. So like,
because the Sixers are bad, or because you just don't like the NBA right now, or both?
A little bit of both. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit of both. I'll probably tune in a little bit in the playoffs, especially as it gets closer to the finals. My favorite player in the league. They're not very good this year, but so it's gonna suck to see him lose to LeBron in the first round. But
Who?
I love Anthony Edwards,
Oh, okay.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Yep.
I just think he's got that like Kobe attitude.
Yeah.
It's funny because my wife teaches 7th grade, and there's a kid that last year, I think it was, yeah, it was last year, loves Kobe, and like he wasn't even alive when he was playing.
All right.
And I told her, I said,
Kid
you
did
have
his
to
homework
tell him.
though.
Yeah, I said you have to tell him. I said if he wants to know what it was like, even like a little bit, because being like Kobe is, it's high standards.
Sure.
I told her if he wants to know what it was like to watch Kobe, just turn on Minnesota and watch Anthony Edwards, because that's what it was like.
Yeah. It's high praise.
Yeah.
All right. We can move on then. Before we get into the Phillies, wanted to talk a little bit. So we got Eagles draft. I believe is it next Thursday?
Next Thursday, yeah.
Next Thursday.
A week from this Thursday.
Anybody you're kind of eyeing up?
Yeah. I still have to do a little bit of homework, but I'm very curious to see if they move up, because I don't know if you saw what Howie Roseman said today.
I did not.
He said that they don't have 32 first round grades. So does that mean they'll move up or they'll move back?
Right. It's it's either we're gonna go move up to get the guy we want, or see if that guy falls to us, and if he doesn't,
we move back.
We move back.
Right.
There's two guys I like. The edge rusher from Tennessee, James Pierce Jr.
Okay.
And then the safety from South Carolina. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah, there's two guys I'm eyeing up.
There are two guys that I like too. One of them is an edge rusher from Marshall. His name is Mike Green.
Yep.
He's going to be a little bit of a kind of like a guy that may not be on all the first round draft boards, but he'll go in like the team picks. Kind of like a Jet Luchenko for the Flyers, like a guy that like nobody really expected to be like a mid first round pick.
But somebody's gonna like him enough to take him, man.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that's the Eagles. I really do like him. I believe he started his career as a safety and just got too big, and they moved him to edge rusher. So he's very athletic. It's a guy I like. And the other one is Starks from Georgia.
Okay.
Safety. But I don't know that he'll be there. So it kind of just depends on, who's there, who's not. I don't know that they go linebacker, but I saw something today that said they might be into the linebacker Campbell from Alabama.
Okay. The guy I was thinking of was Nick Emenwari for South Carolina.
Okay. And then, but I think they shock everybody and go offensive line.
I don't know. But that shock people. I don't know that would shock people.
It was a joke.
Oh. Okay, maybe you never know.
Well, I also think like everybody's just expecting safety or
sure
line.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean Howie loves the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And you lose Becton, so I mean I could see it.
Yeah, I don't know who would be there in the end of the first round. So, but I'm excited to see what goes on. Even with the other guys, like how crazy. I don't know if you saw it. So I sent it in one of our group chats. They did it again today. The Giants posted on Twitter asking the fans to make a case who you'd rather have, Shedeur Sanders or Abdul Carter. And it's just they're so afraid to make the wrong pick.
So afraid.
And they still might make the wrong pick, but if they now have the excuse, well, this is what you guys wanted.
Watch them pick neither.
Oh, I love that. I'm so worried Abdul Carter is going to be a Giant.
I like Carter. I don't think you have anything to worry about if Sanders goes there. I think.
No,
Sanders
I'm terrified of Carter. I'm terrified of Carter.
Yeah, Carter's going to be a hell of a player. I mean, I know he's got like injury issues right now, but
yeah,
I think he's going to be much better.
Dude, and he played through that injury against Notre Dame, and he was really good. He had a good game. Yeah. I just don't see them picking a quarterback because you sign Russell Wilson and you sign Jameis Winston, the two perfect guys to be bridge quarterbacks. If you don't like the guy this year, you have Winston and next year.
Yeah, but isn't that a reason? Isn't that a reason to kind of pick a quarterback?
Yeah, but why do you have two?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it sets them up to say, okay, if we draft a quarterback this year,
we could groom him for a year or two behind
but
Winston or
if they
we'll
don't
see.
like the quarterback, but if they don't like the quarterback, it gives them another 2 or 3 years of saying, okay, we'll just take a guy next year
Yeah,
or the
sure.
year after.
Yeah.
So
Because I mean,
I just don't know.
they're probably gonna be in the top 5 or 10 draft next year. So like,
Yeah.
you could get your guy if you don't like any of them this year. Get your guy next year.
Yeah.
But you're right; they're so afraid to make the wrong pick that
Yeah.
they're
They're just
asking their
they're
fan
afraid.
base.
Dude, the Eagles and Hard Knocks absolutely destroyed them.
Yep.
Um,
Between the Saquon thing,
yeah.
and then what? So who did they pass on in that draft? Was that
This
who-
past
it was-
year?
yeah, was it Jane Daniels?
No, Jaden Daniels went 2. He
Who
was
did
number 2 overall. They didn't. I don't think they passed on anybody.
they didn't pass on anybody? Maybe it was the
No,
year
they took
before.
Neighbors. Yeah.
Neighbors. Maybe it was the year before that.
I
I have to look at. I have to look at their
yeah.
draft, but it's just no. You're right. The Hard Knocks just killed them though.
And the Eagles have been trolling them for a few years now with not starting their starters in 2020 or 2021. They didn't start the starter. Or no, it was 20. They didn't start the starters at the end of the second half against Washington because if Washington would have won, which they did, they would make the playoffs. If they lost, the Giants make the playoffs. The Giants, they're upset. 2021, they draft Devontae Smith. They move up to draft Devontae Smith. What was it? 2020. They beat them in 2022 in the playoffs. 2023, something else happened. I think they. I forget what it was, but then something else. So somebody was like, it would be so funny if the Eagles moved up to number 2 and took Abdul Carter just to troll the Giants.
I don't even think it's possible.
Nah, they're not good.
What are you giving up to go to 2?
Yeah. But they do have a slew of picks these
Sure.
next 2-3 years.
Sure. The thing I'm curious about what happens is like I know at one point it was rumored that they were giving Dallas Goedert like permission to talk to teams and like that just kind of went away. So like is he going to be an Eagle come September? Like it's weird.
My theory with that is they told him, okay, we want you to take a pay cut, and he said, well, would you mind if I go and look for offers?
Sure.
They say yes. You and your agent could go look for a trade. My guess is they went out and said, hey, I want to play at this number, the $14 million or whatever it is, $11 million that he's being given this year. I think he's going and saying, this is what I want to get paid. And the teams that may have interest are saying, well, we don't like you at that price, maybe a little bit less. And I think he's deciding whether or not, do I want to get traded to play less or do I just want to play for less here? I think if the draft comes and goes and he's not traded, I think he stays here and takes a pay cut.
Yeah.
And I think the Eagles have told him that, like, no, you're either going to get cut or you're going to take a pay cut if we can't trade you. Because if he gets cut, then what team's going to pay him what he wants?
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that's fair. It's just kind of weird how that story just kind of went away. And like I know there's rumors that they'll pick one in the draft, and I know people like Tyler Warren, but he's probably going to go too high, I would imagine. Although I don't
think he goes in the first round.
You don't think so?
No,
I'm seeing top 15.
So I think that there are guys every year that are going to go in the first. Like DeJean was supposed to be a first round pick last year.
Sure.
High teens, low 20s, and he fell to like 40 something.
I
think there are those guys.
Personally, I don't like Tyler Warren.
I think he's going to be really good.
Dude,
yeah.
I don't see it.
I'm not saying he's going to be really good. I think you should take him. I think he's going to be really good though.
Yeah.
I think he is exactly what the league needs or what the league asks for in a tight end. Kind of what a Dallas Goedert is. Goddard just can't stay healthy.
But you also said about that again the guy that's in Atlanta. What's his name?
Oh yeah, I mean I thought he was going to be. I thought he was
yeah.
the best.
So why am I drawing a blank on his name? Kyle Pitts. Yeah. Everybody thought he was going to be great. He's kind of in shit.
But that doesn't mean Tyler Warren's not.
Sure, of course not. I just don't know that every time I watched Warren, he just seemed a little slow. Like big and physical, but just a little slow.
Yeah, I don't think you need burning speed to be a great.
No, not burning speed, but if you look slow against college athletes and you go to the NFL where they're bigger, stronger, faster, I think he's going to look.
Antonio Gates
really
and Jason
slow.
Witten were very slow too.
Sure,
they're two all-timers.
Sure, a different era though.
Sure, but I just think he does a little bit of everything. I think he's a receiver, has good hands, can block, can do everything you need him to do. Yeah. I just don't think he goes in the first round just because of his position. I
I
think he's
was
like an
I
early
was
second
looking
round
at
pick.
mocks, and there was like 2 or 3 tight ends that were like projected to go first.
Yeah,
round.
I just don't know
That
that many,
seems
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
yeah. But I just think every year there's like one or two guys that always
Sure,
are
yeah. There's
gonna
gonna
be
be
first round
somebody.
picks. And,
Yeah, there's gonna be somebody that gets picked in the top 10. You're like, who the fuck is that guy? Like,
Right.
it happens every year. Guys reach and they pick who they like, even if it is a reach, and then there's guys that slip and fall.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody thought Carter was Jalen Carter was like a top 3 or 5 pick, and he got to what 9 or 10.
Oh yeah, because
For the
he murdered
Eagles.
somebody. But
Well, he didn't like,
I mean, it's murder.
He wasn't the murderer.
No, but like,
He was involved in
sure.
the event, I guess.
If
let's
that
say.
didn't happen, I think he's probably a top 3 pick. I mean, I have to go back in that because I don't know if quarterbacks went in that draft. Was that the draft where all the quarterbacks went? Or no, that was last year.
That would have been 23, right?
His draft would have been 23. Yeah,
23.
I think it was last year. The quarterbacks.
Bryce
You're
Young,
like-
C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson, Devin Witherspoon, Paris Johnson Jr., Tyree Wilson,
think
Bijan
5. I think-
Robinson, Jalen Carter.
I think Jalen Carter goes probably top 5 or 6.
So who
Just
slips,
because. Was
who
that?
slips down? Bryce. Well, okay. Like, are you talking then? Like without the
Yes.
Yeah. murder thing, or are you talking now with hindsight?
No.
'Cause, like,
Then.
you pick Jalen Carter over Bryce Young right now, obviously.
Right. No. Back then, I'm saying back then.
Back then. So do you think
Yeah.
back then without the murder, him or Bryce Young?
Murder? What murder? Yes, I think he's I think obviously he's better than Bryce Young and
Now, yeah, but at the time,
Yeah.
who goes before? Who gets picked before?
so. How does it go for the draft?
Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson.
I
That'd
think
probably
Will
stay the
Anderson
same.
still goes number 3
I agree.
at the time.
C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. I think they still go top 3.
What do you mean?
I still think they go above Bijan
Today?
or above Jalen. No. Then.
Yeah, that's what I'm
not
saying.
today.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Anthony Richardson.
I think they still go quarterback then.
Okay.
I think quarterback you have to take that out because teams take quarterbacks too early all the time because it's
Sure.
a position.
Sure. Devin Witherspoon, cornerback,
I think-
Seahawks.
Who's after that?
Paris Johnson Jr. for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think he goes 5.
That's
5 or
what
6.
that'd be sick. I was gonna say that'd be 6.
5 or 6.
Okay. Fair enough. You think it was before Bijan?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
we talked about it on the show. I'm sure. I know we texted about it. Like when it was, me, you, and Chris were texting. Like, he said, "Who do you guys think?" I remember where I was. I was in the airport going to Disney, and my flight got delayed. And I remember it was like around this time, like 2 years ago, and we were talking about the draft and how the possibility if Carter drops to because what did the Eagles pick that year?
They picked
Because they moved up, didn't they?
Yeah, they picked 10. It was they moved up one spot. It was
Okay.
going to be a 10th pick. They moved up to 9.
So they had the 10th pick, and I remember you and I just saying he could have done a million bad things. If he's there at 10, you take him.
Mhm.
And then they obviously had to move up 1 to grab him. But
And it's been a home run. I mean, he's been great.
yeah. You could argue he's been the best defensive tackle in the league. But he's been up there.
Number 12, Jahmyr Gibbs. Where if in a redraft, where does he go in this draft? You think top 5?
So I'm sorry. Go. Who's 7?
7 is Tyree Wilson,
I don't even know who that is.
defensive end for the Raiders. Tells you all you need to know.
Where did he go?
College,
Yeah.
Texas Tech.
I don't know anything about him.
So then 8's Bijan, 9's Jalen Carter, 10 Darnell Wright for the Bears, and then the Titans
I don't
pick
know who that is.
Peter Skoronski.
Yeah, Skoronski. Yeah,
Um,
Skoronski.
Skoronski, offensive tackle from Northwestern.
Yeah.
He went to the Titans. Then Gibbs went 12. Pretty good pick by the Lions.
If it's a
I mean, he's been
redraft
great.
today,
Yeah, if it was redraft today, yep.
if it's a redraft today, I honestly think he might be like a top 5.
I agree. Like you probably go like Will Anderson 1. Like you could probably he's better than Jalen Carter. Like I'd put Will Anderson above.
I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with his stats.
He's been really good for Houston. Really fucking good.
Okay, so if you
Um,
got him 1,
I might put Carter too.
You think you get Carter before Stroud?
Yeah, Stroud was great his rookie year. He was not great last year.
Yeah, but you take that chance? If you're running a team,
Sure.
like, do you think that going into year 3, if you know
If I'm-
everything
okay.
you know so far, you
If
still
I'm
go Carter?
starting from scratch, I probably take CJ Stroud. But if I'll put it this way: I'd rather have Jalen Hurts and Jalen Carter than CJ Stroud and like some
So okay, so
mediocre.
let's say
defensive
let's
tackle.
say let's say you're a team, right? And they say, all right, everybody from the 2023 draft is now eligible to be redrafted after 2 years of being in the NFL.
Okay.
Would you how would you feel about you wouldn't take Stroud?
And do I have to draw? Like I don't think he's that far from Hurts, to be honest. And I like Stroud. Like I thought he was great his rookie year. Like I was very impressed by him.
I
But
don't
he
mean
just-
necessarily just for the Eagles, but I'm saying if you're a team that needs a quarterback and also could use a defensive tackle, like you're Houston that year.
I still think I go Jalen Carter.
Okay.
I like Will Anderson more than both of them, but I think I go
Sure.
Jalen Carter over Stroud. I think it's close, so maybe Stroud's 3 in this,
Okay.
and then after that, honestly, probably Gibbs. Oh, no, I give Bijan then Gibbs.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think
Yeah, Bijan then Gibbs. That's probably your top 5.
Yeah.
I can scroll down and see if I'm missing anybody, but I don't think so.
Skoronski's is a good player too.
Yeah, yeah.
He's probably a top 5 or 10 pick, or probably like a top 10 pick. I'm sure there's got to be somebody else.
Jackson Smith,
Njigba.
yeah, and Jigba. He went to
He
Seattle
was really good last
at
year.
20. He was really good. Zay Flowers went 22.
Yeah, it's just another dude that you know.
Sam Laporta in the second round, but like,
Okay, he's a first round pick in a redraft.
yeah, for sure.
He had a down year last year, but
Yep.
he had a really good rookie. I think it was like a crazy year for rookie tight end, wasn't it?
I'd have to look at the whole draft. Luke Musgrave for the Packers.
Yeah,
I don't,
for the Packers. He had a good rookie year.
Dalton Kincaid went 25th.
He had a really good rookie year. It was
Yeah.
like I think it was like a historical year for rookie tight. I think it's like the best rookie tight end
Michael Mayer
statistically ever.
for the
Yeah.
Raiders.
Possibly a future Eagle.
Why is that?
There's a lot of people that say if they get rid of Goddard, they should
Oh, I
take a
got
chance on Mayer because of I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Who?
The
Goddard?
guy that they have. No.
Oh, Calcaterra?
Yeah. No. The Raiders.
Oh.
The dude who
Yeah.
did go to Notre Dame, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank 'cause I'm looking at the rest of the tight ends. Luke Schoonmaker. Don't know who that is for the Dallas Cowboys. Brenton Strange. I
He
feel
had,
like
he had a good rookie year too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft went in the third round. A lot
Yeah.
of tight ends taken.
Yeah, it was like a historical rookie year for tight ends.
Darnell Washington, Cameron Leto. All right. I don't know how we got on this conversation, but
Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
So a lot of people are saying if they get rid of Goddard, maybe Mayer's like a cheap trade that
I don't know enough about. I haven't seen enough of Mayer's game to know if I.
he had a nice rookie year, but I think he didn't really play much last year. So
Yeah.
because of Brock Bowers, but
Right.
Brock Bowers
And we-
is
and
like a Stephen King villain name.
Yeah, it is. I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
They should go get him.
yeah.
But we've talked about it. Like they don't need like a Hall of Fame tight end. Like they don't
No.
need anybody. Like in
But
this
they-
lineup, you don't need.
No,
A
but
top
you need
three
somebody
tight end.
who could block a little bit.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
Calcaterra is just really, really bad
Yeah.
at blocking. So
Yep.
you got to get a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And Calcaterra, well, he's good receivers, good hands, reliable. He's just not, and maybe he gets better.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes in this year and he works on it in the offseason and they say, all right, we have Goddard at this number, for this year. Let's say he takes a pay cut. We have him one more year. And then we give Calcaterra a contract because I think Calcaterra is going into year 4 of this
Yeah.
deal. So who knows?
And he has grown. I mean, he's much better now than he was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, nobody knew who he was 3 years ago.
Yeah, and he was kind of useless. Like
Yeah.
All right, we can move on. We'll talk more draft stuff next week. Because obviously it's next Thursday, so we'll talk about it
Yeah.
then. Moving on to the Phillies. Is it too early? It's April. Too early to be concerned. You're gonna say yes, obviously,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yeah.
Do you okay? Do you understand, or is it justified why people are already concerned?
So okay, let me reiterate. Let me
Talk it out.
yeah, talk it out.
Yes.
Way out on Bohm. I have been out on Bohm. You know my history with Bohm. I think he's below average defensively. I think anytime he makes a good, that's how bad he was before last season. Is that he is so below average still that he just looks great. That's how bad he was.
Yeah.
He is so. What game was it? It might have been the first or second game against St. Louis. I think it was whatever game it was. He took he only had 4 or 5 pitches the whole game. He swung at
Yep.
every first pitch. He had 3 blunders in the field too. Gave up
Yep.
a run on one of them. The other one was a little bit harder. It hit his glove, but it was a little bit of a harder play. But I think most third basemen make that play. And there was one that he got to that he actually threw a guy out. He charged the ball, got and threw out the runner. But like he just moves in slow motion. He's just a tall, lanky, goofy looking third baseman. And you know what? Like his approach is still horrible. His body language is horrible. He just doesn't do enough for me to be the third baseman.
What do you
just
do with
doesn't.
him? What do you do with him then?
Nothing. You can't do anything with. Nobody wants him, and you can't just get rid of him. You're just gonna replace him.
That's what I'm saying. What do you just have to accept the?
Of course.
You have to accept it.
For right now,
Hey,
yeah.
hey, you're a third baseman. Accept
April 15th. What's today? The 15th?
it.
April 15th?
Today is the 15th. Yes.
You have to accept it. Same thing with Brandon Marsh in center field. You have to accept the fact that it's just going to be Rojas and Marsh until.
I think Crawford's coming up
time.
sooner than later.
So do I. I just think you have to accept those things until it's time for them to make a move, whether that means bringing up Crawford, making a trade, whatever it is, whether that's in tomorrow or in June or at the deadline. I think Crawford's up here in June. Early June. Very, very early. Late May, early June.
I don't even know that it'll be June, to be honest.
His biggest problem right now is he's not getting the ball in the air. He's hits or hits, don't get me wrong. Putting the ball in play is much more than Brandon Marsh is doing. And you know what?
Exactly. That's the point.
I'll give them credit tonight. Kepler's on second, no outs. Bohm hits the ball to the right side of the infield, gets Kepler to third. Marsh flies out to right field. They score the run to tie the game. They played small ball. They did it.
Did Marsh play tonight?
He did. It helped them.
I thought he was supposed to give him 3 days off.
Please.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're preaching the fire. That's the thing too. There were 2 different times last night that you could have had him pitch it.
All right, yeah, exactly.
It's all mental. It's let him sit for 3, and then he comes out and starts today.
I was saying, he said he was going to give him 3 days off, and he gave him 1.
Right. Not even he came in the game last night.
Right.
He came in the 8th inning.
I don't understand.
So, and I'm a Thompson guy.
I think I'm out on Thompson, but I've been out on Thompson.
But okay, that's a different argument for them right
now.
But,
sure. I don't. For what it's worth, I don't think he's the reason they're losing games right now.
Sure. So they both. I'll give them credit for tonight because they played small ball. They did things like move the runner, sack fly, which then led Bohm to a huge hit, a huge single to take the lead tonight. So I'll give them credit there. Brandon Marsh is hardly a bench player in this league.
Hardly a bench player.
Hardly.
So you're borderline AAA players. What you're saying?
He's one of those guys that's probably too good for AAA, and just not good enough to be an everyday MLB player.
That's just a bench player.
That's what I mean. He's like just about a bench player.
Yeah.
He that's the thing, and the only thing that makes him a bench player in this league is the fact that he's like a little above average defensively.
I don't even know if he's all that
It,
above
and that's being kind.
right.
That's being kind.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I think he's a very good left field defensive
Sure.
left fielder.
Yeah.
Does not have a left field bat. Center field, he is like is average. Maybe like a smidge above average in center field.
Yeah.
There was a ball against in the Dodgers game. Was it? It was Sunday. I think it was Sunday. A line drive to center field, and I'm not a Rojas guy either. But Rojas gets to that ball. I think we talked about it last week. But Rojas gets to that ball so easily. And then Martian later in the inning has like a play that he misjudges that makes a sliding play that everybody freaks out over because what a great play by Brandon Marsh, but he fucking misjudged it to begin with.
I think he stepped backwards at first. He thought the ball was going over his head.
That's what these people who think that like, oh my God, he made a great play because Tom McCarthy said he made a great play. Tom McCarthy said he made a great play because it's on TV. He's supposed to tell you that. He's supposed to be excited that he made a play.
Right, and it wouldn't have had to have been. It wouldn't. It shouldn't have been
it shouldn't have been a great play.
A great play is what I mean. Yeah, what I meant to say. Like it should have been an easy.
You should have made it look like a great play to somebody that doesn't know what they're watching.
Exactly. Yes.
And listen, it's April. It's April 15th. We're 3 weeks into the season. I'm not saying the house is burning down either, but I just think the way that the season ended last year and the way that the last few years have gone, how many times are we going to see this?
Right.
And I'm a Dombrowski guy. You know this. I'm a Thompson guy. I'm a Dombrowski guy. I'm playing devil's advocate when we have discussions off air about Dombrowski. I think there are things that he's done. He's helped this team be successful in the 11 years that we didn't make the playoffs. Like,
sure,
he is a big reason.
I agree with that.
He's a big reason. I think he went out. Lazaro looks incredible.
Great.
I think Wheeler. He had a bad game. He's had a bad outing. The last outing. The one before that wasn't even his fault.
No, it wasn't.
It was the Atlanta game where Rojas let the ball drop and they scored 3 runs.
It hit off his fucking.
They should have been out of.
Yeah,
they should have been out of that inning. So I don't want to hear all these people that are so concerned about Wheeler. It's one bad start.
Yeah,
and it happens.
Yep.
Nola is Nola. We know what Nola is.
I don't think anybody should be surprised by Nola at this point. Like, this is who he is.
He's going to get 200 strikeouts. Like, relax.
200 strikeouts, 1 million home runs against, and he's going to end with like a 3.5 to 4 ERA.
I think I just saw it. I think they only have scored 2 runs for him all year. It's what, 4 starts? They've scored like 2 runs for him all year.
Yeah.
So, Taiwan don't we get it. Like we know what we know what Walker is. We got 10 good innings out of him.
Walker's back. The Walker we know is back.
Yes. And Sanchez doesn't look tremendous, but again, like these guys have had 2-3 starts. Like it's.
Yeah, but is anybody? I know he looked really good last year. Is anybody expecting Sanchez to be a number 1 or number 2? Like, no, he was like a 3-4
favorite.
I understand, but like that's an outlier. In my opinion, that's an outlier. I never expected him to do that again.
I don't know. Did you see his numbers last year?
No, I'm sure they're very good. I don't know them off the top of my head. I can look them up.
I think it's a sub-3.
No, I understand, but like you look at what he's done in his career, and I know his career is not incredibly long, but like if you look at what he's done, like that seems like that would be an outlier.
Well, he's only played. This is only his 2.5 year.
No, it's
right?
No, it's his like 4th year.
Sanchez?
It's kind of so. In 2021, he only played 7 games. He started 1. That doesn't count. 2022, he played 15 games, only started 3.
Yeah, that doesn't count either.
2023 played 19 games, started 8. But he started 18. He started 18 games. I don't know. I feel like it's a.
So 2.5 years.
All right, so fine. 2.5 years. Fair enough. Last year he was 10th in Cy Young voting. He had an ERA. Why can't I find 3.32?
Okay.
And believe it or not, this year he's got a 3.12 ERA. So he's
not. He really has not been that bad.
No.
He went up against the Dodgers, like.
Yep.
And Teoscar, who is a very good player in this league,
should be a
hit
Philly.
2 homers. Should be a Philly. Hit 2 homers off of him.
Yep.
and one of them was a 2-run homer. Like,
Yep.
that's the thing is, I just think this city expects these guys to just have quality starts pitch no hitters every night. Like, it just doesn't happen.
They're supposed to have 5 aces, Dom. You didn't know that?
Right? Like, it's insane to me.
If you look at every team's number 3, 4, 5 guy,
It's not even close.
chances, yeah,
Unless you're
exactly.
the Dodgers.
Right. And like they're, I don't even think their pitchers are that great this year so far.
No, they've been they got the shit kicked out of them by the Cubs this weekend. So
Hey, listen, it's baseball. It's a long season. We say that every April and May. But I just think with the way the seasons have kind of ended the last couple of years, I understand why people are already concerned. Like, I understand why people think houses, burning.
I get it. I understand, and I'm not fully there yet. It's just, look at the year they went to the World Series in 2022. They sucked until June.
Well, yeah, but I think a lot of that was lighting fire onto them after they let Girardi go, because that was the same year, right? Was it not?
It was.
Yeah. So I mean, you let Girardi go. You bring in a new
even
voice.
2 years ago. 2 years ago, they started off horrible.
Sure.
Last year they started off great, and then they ended horrible.
Yep.
It's such a long season to sit here and worry.
It's a streaky sport, for sure.
Yeah, it's a marathon. It's not a race,
yep.
And it's kind of looking like JT is starting to find that power again, which I was a little worried about because I don't think I didn't expect him to have, and I still it's early. I still don't know if I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate. Like,
sure,
I even see it the other way. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, JT hit a bomb last night. It just went foul. Tonight, he managed to get one out in an incredibly windy night. It's looking like maybe the consistent power is still there a little bit. He's hitting the ball hard. But again, it's early. Like, I don't know what July and August are going to bring. Harper hit a homer tonight, which looks good. His body language has been a little off to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, even going back to Dombrowski, I don't think I finished my point where I'm a Dombrowski guy. I think that, again, playing devil's advocate, playing both sides, he added pitching, and I like Max Kepler. I know he's probably not the ideal guy for this team. He's gonna rake. He's raking in Citizens Bank Park.
Sure.
He's been really good. He can work a count. He'll walk. He's got good speed. He's hitting everything. He's just lining out. So I like that addition. I just don't like it with having Marsh and really just Marsh. But and that's not Kepler's fault. But also at the same time, Dombrowski has had terrible trade deadlines since being with the Phillies.
Awful.
And that's honestly, that might actually be putting it lightly.
Yes.
That you trade Logan O'Hoppe, who could potentially have been JT Realmuto's replacement.
Yeah, for sure.
You could have had, 2
and that
years ago,
was that the Syndergaard trade, or was that the Marsh?
No,
trade?
the Marsh trade.
The Marsh trade.
I think, right? Marsh.
They both happened the same exact day, so
within an hour of each other.
Yeah.
I believe it was outfielder for catcher, outfielder for pitcher, because we traded Moniak.
Moniak, was that for Syndergaard then?
Syndergaard, I believe, yeah. Regardless, you could look at it as they traded O'Hoppe and
Moniak for Moniak
Syndergaard and Marsh.
Yeah.
So, but again, like, if you don't trade O'Hoppe, you then have Bryce Harper back in the outfield, JT Realmuto probably at first base, and
O'Hoppe behind the plate. Yeah.
At this point.
Yep.
So,
and O'Hoppe's been pretty good the last 2 years.
He's been very good.
Very good.
I think he had some injury stuff last year, but other than that, like, he's been pretty good this year too, I think.
And he has some pop.
Yeah.
Last year he played in 136 games.
Okay. Maybe it was the year before.
The year before he played 51 games.
Maybe that's what it was. I think he was hurt 2 years ago.
Yeah. But last year, 244 batting average and 20 home runs. This year he's got 5 home runs already.
Yeah, I mean that's what you
and
that's your catcher.
And batting 333 so far.
Yeah, he's been really good this year.
Yep.
I mean, if you ask your catcher to play great defense and hit 244 and 20 homers, like
Yeah, sign me up.
30 teams sign up for that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the position in general isn't really much of an offensive one.
Right. You just got to be great defensively.
Yep.
If you're bad offensively, but that's what makes JT in his prime.
Oh, JT in his prime was great.
Prime,
Yeah.
even the 25 homers, the 85 RBIs, along with the great defense is, it makes him valuable. But
Yep.
it's too early to really really panic. They won tonight. They beat a good team. The Giants are a good team right now. I don't think they make the playoffs, but
it's a tough division to make the playoffs in.
Very, especially because San Diego's they're number 2 right now. The Giants.
San Diego?
But,
Oh, the Giants.
the Giants.
San Diego
The
was
Dodgers
one
are
at one
great.
point.
Yeah, they're still on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's San Diego. Well, at least as of last night, San Diego, San Francisco, LA are in that.
And even the Diamondbacks are a good team.
Yeah.
So
I think before the season started, I had, and I'm already wrong, but my projection or my prediction was Atlanta 1. Dodgers 1, Atlanta 2, Milwaukee 3 because they're going to win their division. Well,
division stinks.
right.
Yeah, I mean,
It's still good, but
yeah.
But that's why they're going to be the 3 seed because it's division.
Mhm.
And then I had the Phillies 1, the Padres 2.
You're talking wild card.
Yes, and who did I have 3?
The Mets?
I don't think the Mets make the playoffs. No,
No.
I had the Mets missing the playoffs because their pitching stinks. But
Are they first right now, or is Washington first?
in the NL East, it might be
The NL East. I think it's a Mets. I think they're ahead
but their
of the Phillies.
pitching is not very good.
No, it's not. Especially, I think they had some injuries to start the year too. I think in their rotation.
Possibly. Yeah, I know Clay Holmes does not look good.
He's in Atlanta, right?
Clay Holmes? No, he's in New York.
Is he with the Mets?
Mhm.
I don't know why I thought him. They have another Clay in Atlanta.
I don't know.
I don't know who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, well, only time will tell, I guess, what happens. I'm trying to see who there. Grant Holmes, I was thinking of.
Okay.
Not Clay. Grant Holmes, I was thinking of. Okay. He's with the Braves. So, all right, you got anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, by the way,
Okay.
I started watching Veep.
Okay.
I'm like 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
So far, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
Now, I'm sure things go deeper, and they're just kind of introducing characters so far, and a premise.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, I'm enjoying it.
You know what I'm watching right now? So right now we're watching. So this was on our bracket as well. I've seen it. I've never seen it from beginning to end. I've just seen episodes here and there. I've seen it on TikTok, and I cracked up every single time I saw anything. But we started from the beginning. We're at the end of the first season. Modern Family.
Modern Family's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I am Phil Dunphy, and my wife is Claire. It's scary.
Now, how many seasons? That 15? I feel like it was on for a while.
I don't know if it's that many.
Because I was surprised a show like 2.5 Men was on for 12 seasons, and I want to say Modern Family ran longer. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's
11.
between 11.
Yeah, 250 episodes though. That's a lot.
It's a lot of episodes, but they're half hour. You can fly through. Probably 25 minutes. You can fly through.
24 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start. So, I don't own Apple. I used to get Apple TV through my in-laws. They don't have it anymore. So
I'll hook you up.
I'm getting ready to have that deal. It's like a $2.99 for 3 months or something.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get the deal. But I really, 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 really want to watch The Studio.
I've seen is that Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
So I've seen. It seems like I'm interested in watching it. It almost seems like a less funny version of Entourage, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I think it's got a little bit more of like not a serious tone, but like
drama.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Entourage gets dramatic.
it
But,
does, but it seems very Entourage esque.
it seems like it's going to be a little bit more. I don't want to say family friendly Entourage, but like less
Raunchy,
raunchy and like
Yeah.
less
less
dark
less broy.
comedy. Yeah, and less dark comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to watch that. I finally want to get to Into Severance. I want to watch.
Watch when you get Apple TV, watch Bad Monkey with Vince Vaughn. It's
Okay.
pretty good.
I want to watch. There's another show too. I forget what it is, but
Shrinking.
Shrinking. Yeah, we
Yeah,
talked about
yeah.
that a few weeks ago.
I've never seen it. My wife saw it. She liked it. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it yet.
Big Jason Segel guy.
Yeah.
And then HBO watching Last of Us. So
Okay, that's one thing I haven't gotten into.
it's the only reason I do watch it is because I played the game.
Okay.
We talked about this on
Yeah,
the show
yep.
like 2 years ago when it was on the first
It was
season was
big,
on.
yep.
But it just started again on Sunday night. This is the first episode, and it's so good.
Yeah.
So highly recommend that to anybody that's into. I'm not even really into zombies, but
Well,
I
was
played
talking.
the
I was
game,
talking to
so-
my dad not that long ago about it. He said it's not really zombies, right?
no, it is.
Is it okay? He
It's
kinda
like
explained-
infected. It's like the infected. It's not
right.
It's not like zombie like
as we know them.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
they're like
it's like a chemical imbalance or something.
Yeah,
like-
yeah, and like this like fungus or it's like
Right,
it's like a
yeah.
mushroom or something that like starts to take over as the host.
yeah, right,
So it's like zombie esque, but
right.
it's they're like like almost like spuds, like
Yeah.
kind of.
All right.
But it's tremendous. So that's what I'm watching right now.
All right. Fair enough. I'll have to add it to the list then.
Yep.
But we're gonna get out of here. Go subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, X, or Twitter, or whatever the kids call it these days. We're gonna get out of here, and we'll see everybody next Tuesday. See you then.